Eemamwiciki. I am going to show you how to sort of create this pipe cleaner tree if you're interested. This is the pipe cleaner tree that I describe in the art lesson under the heading Waapanswa's way. So first I started with a sturdy paper plate. It's like almost like cardboard, and what I did is I used a push pin, can you see that there, to poke holes in it. Okay, and when you poke your holes in, sort of rock the pin around to make the hole a little bit bigger, and then you can take pipe cleaners and stick the end of them into the hole. So I did that for a whole bunch of pipe cleaners. I think on this one I have 4, I have maybe 10. And then I'm going to bend these so they don't come back out. This is the bottom, the part no one sees. And there really wasn't a whole lot of rhyme or reason to where I put this. I wanted some of them far away from where the center trunk would be so that they sort of reach in towards the trunk, maybe look like tree roots getting ready to spread out and dive into the ground when you flip this over on the other side. Okay, so what I did next then is I grabbed a couple that were side by side and I sort of twisted them a couple of times. And then I went to the next group that was side by side and I twisted those a couple of times. So it's kind of floppy. I don't know if you've ever done basket weaving or if you've started a weaving from scratch, that those first few steps can get tangled and floppy looking, and if you just can persevere through that first process, it gets easier as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and twist that pair together, twist this pair together, and then this is my last one. Okay, so if I spread these out flat, what you would see is five pairs of pipe cleaner. So now what I'm going to do to form the trunk is I'm going to take a pipe cleaner from this pair and then another one from another pair, and I'm going to intertwine them. So this is going to start to attach my pipe cleaners together. So I'm rotating my plate, I'm grabbing a pipe cleaner from this pair and one from that pair, and bringing them together and doing a twist. And then I'm just going to keep doing that until I get all the way around. It doesn't matter if you twist once or twice. The great thing about this project is trees are supernatural. They're never perfect in nature. They always have a little diversity to their shape, and that makes them a really great subject for creating art because your art doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, last pair to twist together. Now all my pipe cleaner pairs have been interlocked and they're starting to form sort of a sturdy base down here. So what I'm going to keep doing is I'm just going to keep grabbing like a pipe cleaner from, it looks like I lost a pair there. I'm going to grab a pipe cleaner from one from each pair, and I'm going to keep twisting it. So you're kind of just like trying to alternate, trying to connect all the pipe cleaners eventually together by just twisting ones that are next to each other together. So when I created mine, I just kept going around and around like this. I'm just going to work and let you watch me work. I'm sort of winging it right here. Looks like that if I had it order, I just got out of my own order, so I don't think that's a big deal personally. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second, and what you can see is sort of a tree trunk shape growing. Remember, this is pipe cleaner, so you can bend it any way you want it to go. So I'm looking for this to be a little bit taller, and then I'm going to think about spreading out my branches. So I have roots, I have a trunk, that I'm almost done with. And then soon I can think about creating branches. Now, the way you create your tree, you might have enough of these pipe cleaners from the trunk still ready to work and be left over that you can start creating branches out of these. Or, I think this needs to be twisted up some. Or you can add pipe cleaners at this point. If you're going to be adding any at this point, I do suggest trimming them because they'll be really long if you don't, and they'll look silly and floppy, sort of, because once we get up into the branches break off into other little branches all the time. Not break off, but grow, split off into branches, smaller branches all the time. So there's my trunk. I'm going to sort of start bending some of these branches down. That's a lot of branches the way that it is, but I can certainly add more. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and add more. First of all, this seems unusually long, so I'm going to cut it, and maybe I'll even like twist it in somewhere else. Okay, grab some more. I'm just going to sort of cut these. I think I cut them in thirds when I did it. And just start adding them wherever you think it needs to look branchier on your tree. So do this until you feel like your tree is full enough of branches, and then it's up to you how you're going to add your leaves for your canopy. In this example right here, these are just fabric strips, like a little piece of fabric that I just tied on, and I tied on sometimes 1 or 2 or 3 even on a branch until it just looked nice and full. But there's so many other things you could use. Just use your imagination. And then if you use a sturdy paper plate, you can paint this or color on it. I don't recommend using plastic plates because paints don't stick to them so well. So that's pretty much how I twisted my tree trunk together, made some branches, tied on leaves to just sort of get this look right here.